So Clemson, I think their defense is still good enough, like Nate said, to where I don't think the team's going to 20 points. I don't think there's any way, unless there's a pick six, a kick return touchdown. I just don't think there's a way. But I also think DJ Ukulele is really, really bad.
Whoa.
You got to play a song for us.
Can you play it?
Florida State.
That's not what I. What is that? Is that your mic?
Did you break your mic?
Hey guys, it's Terrence Mann. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Nole Game Day. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka E-Dub, in the house. So we're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Nole Game Day. Go live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spear, presented by Nole Game Day. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spear, presented to you by Nole Game Day.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
The hat's on. It is Clemson week. What's up?
Welcome everyone to Nate for Game Day. You got your shirt.
The shirt's on. Yeah. Nate's got the shirts. I sent him. I send shirts to Austin, a whole care package. He's not putting on shirts for Nole Game Day. He doesn't care about Nole Game Day. All he cares about is basketball coming up. But little does he know, it's Clemson week, Austin.
First of all, I'm 6'1", 170 pounds. I do not wear extra large. Send me a large, I'll wear it.
It's going to shrink. It's 100% cotton. You know I'm cheap, so it's 100% cotton.
Andy had a root canal today, though. You know,
and I did have a root canal today. So
I felt like that was cap. I felt like that was cap to get out of it.
Do you want to see my mouth?
We got Dustin.
Do you want to see my bill?
Hey, we got Dustin sent out last week for a Boston game which they lost.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah,
and then we had our best podcast of the year. You know,
we did have.
That's one of the good ones without you, Nate, as well.
Oh no!
Highest viewed podcast this season. You weren't there.
Whoa! Dustin keeps the receipts. He's got the stats down. You know that.
I came prepared. I'm ready to play.
But what's up? Hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. It is wonderful Wednesday here in Tallahassee. Beautiful weather, but it is officially Clemson week. Florida State will face the Clemson Tigers on Saturday at 3:30 against Dabo Swinney. Norvell will finally get his first matchup against his good pal, Dabo. As always, you can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, everything. Let's just get into the meat and grill of everything because we got a lot to do tonight. At 9 o'clock, we'll be having former Nole Jacques Patrick on here for a second time on the show. He's going to talk a little bit about his kind of crazy NFL career right now, bouncing around to some other teams. But we're also going to talk about the running back room and what he feels like is, bringing some success there for Deshaun Corbin, Sean Ward, Toa Philly, and that running back room that's killing it along with DJ Williams. And we'll also get his thoughts and score predictions for this upcoming weekend. That's at 9 o'clock. We're going to go over practice observations from this week. Really interesting practice that we attended. We're going to talk a little Dabo. We're going to talk some Jameis on Monday Night Football. We'll talk some NBA Noles along with NFL Noles. Austin always has the latest regarding that basketball. A lot of recruiting. Could be a really good week. It started off good, but could end off pretty well for Florida State. And then we're going to jump into a full Clemson preview, given keys to victory, who has to have a big game for Florida State to win this, and we'll all be given our score predictions. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting night. I don't know. We all might be on the same page. I don't know. It feels a little bit different this week. But, gentlemen, let's kind of jump into it real quick. A few of us weren't able to give instant reactions to Florida State versus Jacksonville State, but real quick, short and sweet. Austin.
Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville State.
Not Jacksonville State.
Biggest one of the season. You go do that? Like, come on.
The biggest one of the season. Oh, my God. Not North Carolina?
Point differential.
Boy, thank you, Mr. Statman. But, Austin, how'd you feel? It was over. It was over at halftime.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. It's what we wanted from the Jacksonville State game, where they just came out just firing on all cylinders on offense. I thought the defense gave up some unnecessary yards and some plays that they probably shouldn't have. But other than that, it was good to see Florida State get some offense going, put some points on the board. The running backs look fantastic. I'm glad Florida State finally committed to saying, "Hey, we've got 3 really good running backs. Let's pound this out." And it worked to their beneficial factor.
What do you think, Nate? You tried to talk on the show the other day, but it didn't really come through.
Yeah. So I was happy with what I saw from Chuba. I thought he had really good command of the offense. He does look like a different player. And even him throwing, great throws, right where they need to be. Got out of the pocket, showed some athleticism. I liked what I saw entirely from the offense. I thought that they called a good game. The rushing attack was the way to go, and they physically dominated. Like Austin, I thought the defense was kind of herky-jerky a little bit. They overall played well, but they gave up some things that they shouldn't have. So, in the course of the game, they still only gave up 3 points. So, I really would like to see Norvell get them shut out. From what I saw, Walpole didn't leave injured physically, but I'm sure, he had several surrender Cobra pictures, so that was good to see for me. He left Tallahassee with his tail between his legs.
That's all you needed to tweet out the picture. It went like mid-viral there. He did a good job screenshotting while Bell looking depressed.
Yeah, man, it was great. I was very happy that Florida State was able to take care of business, especially against an inferior opponent. And whether it's right or wrong, it hasn't happened in 3, 4, or 5 years. So it's good to see the trajectory moving forward. So not a lot of, can't take a ton from that game, but they did what they had to do and were supposed to do. So we haven't been able to say that in a long time.
Yeah. Like you said, Nate, I think that's the biggest thing to take away. You blew out an inferior opponent, got pretty much all the starters out by halftime, got the young players a lot of work. Mm-hmm. This game was supposed to be what Jacksonville State turned out to be. So it was good to see him get a second chance and actually take care of business.
Yep, they did. They took care of business very nice and easily. Game was over, and me and Dustin were up there like, oh, wow, this is pretty interesting. Get to sit back and relax, and not really relax. There was a lot of scoring plays to get out all the social media posts. But
I got to shout out DJ Williams, too. I really liked his touchdown run. That was a nice run, man. He patient, set the block up, exploded through the hole. Man, that was nice to see. If you can get 4 guys that can contribute, that's going to pay off at the back end of the season. As I said before, this is when guys start getting dinged up and hurt. So, the more guys you have, the better.
Absolutely, for sure.
But Corbin's definitely solidified himself as the number one. He has a really good shot at 1,000 yards, which would be good for him to bounce back off that injury and he'll come back and he looks like he has explosiveness back. So he's had a really good season so far.
Yep, absolutely. So that's kind of wrapping up the rest of UMass, not Jacksonville State, but UMass. They're recapping that. Let's jump into some practice observations from this week. Big time practice week for Florida State. Showed up on Tuesday morning, bright and early, right there at about 8:45, and practice started. And crowd noise, absolutely. I don't think the level could have gone any higher in there. One thing I was looking into going into practices this week is just, I know there'd be energy. This is a big time game coming up. This is practically a rivalry game. And I was looking for that energy, but really just keyed in on dialing in on understanding where you need to be assignment wise and just playing smart, because you can have all this hype and hula and all that kind of stuff. But if you're not showing up and just really listening and keying in on what scheme the coach is putting you under and what position group where you need to be where and special teams and all that kind of stuff and bring in physicality, then it's just not going to – it doesn't matter. You can have all that hype. We saw it under Willie Taggart era where, guys had all the energy in the world, but when it came to game days, they had no idea what the hell they were doing. This week of practice was the most physical that I've ever been to to a Mike Norvell practice. I know Dustin probably doesn't like hearing that whatsoever, but I mean, guys were jumping 5 feet in the air for balls, hitting each other, thudding. Guys a little sore after practice, but by far one of the most competitive last couple of practices I've seen. And I've seen the energy, and that's why I started predicting Florida State to win these games. But for some reason, a lot of chippiness, a lot of guys getting each other's faces this week. I don't know what it was. And, you know, that's just something that you want to see head into what's going to be a hostile environment, a lot of competitiveness this upcoming weekend. It's going to be a close game, I think, going into that quarter.
It's going to be a really physical game.
Yeah.
And hence why you need the physical practices, you know? You don't want to, take it to a LaMarcus Joyner on Willie Hallstead level where you in the guy's career. But, you know, it's okay to have that competitive nature, and you need that in practice because that's what carries over in the game. So, you know, that's just basic football 101. But it's going to be a really physical game this weekend, you know, despite, you know, I think we all agree that this is not a great Clemson team. You know, yeah, they have a ton of injuries, but it's just not a great Clemson team. But they're still a physical, especially on defense, really well coached. So, you know, I think you need that physicality this weekend in practice to get ready for Clemson.
Yeah, offensive line, defensive line, we're going at it along with one-on-ones with wide receivers and DBs. The wide receivers had a really good day, but then Tuesday, practice before, the DBs had a really good day. There's been a ton of interceptions and takeaways, though. Not a lot of fumbles, but really a lot of interceptions from guys, and one to name, Akeem Dent and Akeem Dent, along with Jarvis Brownlee, have had two really good back-to-back practices. And Jarvis Brownlee always, I think, starts off practices like he did today with dropping an interception. And it was kind of down on himself, and Norvell gave him some hard love coaching. Like if you're in the Discord, you know all about that and how Norvell kind of coaches Jarvis, and they've been both public about that. And then for the rest of the practice, he hauls in two interceptions and gets a lot of love from the staff. And Akeem Dent, I think, had two interceptions, two PBUs too today. And, you know, looking at it, you know, does Florida State have Sidney Williams this upcoming weekend? And if not, Akeem Dent's going to be utilized a lot this weekend. I mean, he's going to be there, and he's had a great practice this week, and he showed up prepared. It seems like they had a little kind of a rustier practice because it was installation day on Tuesday, but they bounced back today, and guys were in the right spots at the right time. And that's just how it works in, you know, game prep week. But guys understood their assignments a lot better. And so, you know, the one thing is, what do you see? Is Dylan Gibbons going to be available right now? I'm 50-50 on that one. We'll see if he's going to have the opportunity, but Bavion Johnson is 120% ready to go. He's ready to rock. And I thought since he's been able to sub in for a few guys this season, he's looked solid, and he's came in. That if you want to have a guy coming in to sub in for a game and have the guy that has experience, that's Bavion Johnson. And so we'll see about that. But Devontae Love-Taylor, I think, is 120% full go for this weekend, the whole opposite there. And he's looked great, and he looked a lot better today in practice than he has in the last couple of weeks, which is worth noting.
I'll go back to Sidney Williams real quick. I think, you know, this is a game that Florida State needs him. Again, you know, talk about being physical and a guy that can get up into the box. And, you know, I think you're going to see a lot of running from the quarterback this week. I think you're going to see, you know, them kind of get off script of what they've done so far this year. And that's where you're going to need, you know, Sidney Williams. You're going to need Robinson. You're going to need even Gant that can kind of play in the box. You know, yeah, maybe a little bit of a smaller linebacker, but that physical safety that can play close to the line of scrimmage and put pressure on the run game.
Yeah, dating back to the UNC game, you know, I've been pretty impressed with that safety duo of Sidney Williams and Jamie Robinson. And like you said, Nate, they're both always around the ball. They help out in the run game, and they're going to be huge against Clemson.
But I really like, you know, to have Renardo Green this week too. You know, I just think that's a guy that people don't talk enough about. I know he's been kind of banged up this year, but, you know, if he could be healthy in this contest, you know, it's another guy that he's done pretty well in coverage, and, you know, he's not afraid to put his nose in. So,
One guy I'll finish off here. One guy to note on that had a really good day offensively was Cameron McDonald. I believe he hauled in 2 back-to-back touchdown grabs. He did drop one in the end zone, but I think that was after he had those 2 touchdown grabs. They were going with him quite a bit today, but he had a fantastic practice, and we'll just see. Just keep an eye on those tight ends coming into this weekend. Don't want to say anything more, but I mean, Cameron McDonald had a phenomenal day. Just being in the right spots, running pretty routes, and Dillingham showed him a lot of love on, just being in that, just connecting really well with Jordan Travis along with Chubba Purdy today. So Cameron McDonald, winner, definitely offensively today during the practice this morning.
I mean, it's not surprising. You're going to need your veterans, your guys with experience to step up this weekend going into what's either going to be the most hostile or the second most hostile environment you play in all season. The other one probably being the end of the year against Gainesville. You're going to need those veterans to step up and produce. The Cameron McDonalds, the Keyshawn Hiltons, Jashawn Corbin, the guys on the offensive line. You're going to need every single guy to do their job.
Yep, no joke about that. Let's talk about Dabo's comments in the press conference. We put out a piece today about him, and he gave a few comments on Florida State, Mike Norvell, and Jordan Travis, along with Florida State's rushing attack that they have, and gave a lot of praise to Jordan Travis, said that he's a dangerous weapon that they're going to have to be well prepared for. And, he also made some comments on Mike Norvell, and a reporter asked about, did they hash things out after last season and how that went with the whole COVID-19 protocol and that game not being played. Said, I didn't know we had to hash anything out. We've talked with one another, ACC conference. I was at Bobby Bowden's funeral to, be there for that. And then with the Bowden family along with, got to speak with Norvell in person there. But, it's just the regular kind of Dabo talk, but, he showed a lot of love towards Florida State in that 0-4 start and then responding as a team. What did you think about Dabo and talking about Florida State this week, Nader? Did you even care to listen about him? What he said?
Couldn't give 2 damns about what Dabo has to say. So it's all coach speak to me. I don't think that guy has a genuine bone in his body. I'm sorry. Everything is planned and everything is made and done by design. So. That's why my name is what it is this week.
And can you go and tell tell the listeners?
It says Dabo equals used car salesman. I wanted I was going to make a sign back here that said F word Dabo, but I didn't think it'd be appropriate.
Yeah, no. We'll have to talk with the SI compliance there. We'll have to see about that. But maybe you can do it for Dan Mullen. We'll do something special for him.
Hey, Bobby, thanks, man.
And
I look handsome in any color, whether it's salmon pink, yellow, never orange,
tan,
magenta, fuchsia,
camouflage,
whatever you want, man.
Rainbow.
I'm a chameleon. No, but
it's coach speak.
I think that I thought Venables spoke more from the heart about it. With what he said about your Syracuse has some design runs with Schrader, and Tucker's a good running back. He's leading the country, but this Florida State team has had a lot of success recently, and they're also maybe a little bit more explosive and can create more in the open field. So it's a different matchup. And Syracuse gave Clemson a lot of problems, especially situationally, in that game. So, I know this is a strength for strength game, but I think that Venables realizes Florida State can run the ball on that defense, especially with all the injuries they have up front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know the injuries up front is something that makes Clemson a lot more vulnerable. That is for damn sure. And it's a little more scary on the Clemson side because of Florida State's rushing attack right now with two running backs averaging 7 or more yards per carry. Like that's extremely, that's a little worrisome. And we've heard a lot of things about Clemson's defense and such, but I mean, Florida State's clicking right now. on about almost all cylinders. Wide receivers starting to get a little bit more connected, but that pivotal threat of that running game.
I mean, Florida State's ninth in the country. Ninth in the country, running at 235 yards a game. So, I mean, they've, last year they were what 17th in run efficiency, with a lot of people were surprised. But I think that's something that all of us kind of hit on in our season previews. That if anything, we expected the run game to be, 2 to 3, 4 steps better this year, just with the way that Norvell can scheme, and Atkins and Dillingham, they can scheme up a running game really, really well. So I think we all expected to see that. And I think it's probably been even a little bit better than what we expected.
Yeah, agreed. And, it helps to have Jashawn Corbin and Treshaun Ward to have that 1-2 punch. And I feel like they've played off of each other just so perfectly this year. And you mentioned it earlier, Corbin probably taking a little bit of a leap and being the starter the rest of the year, but Ward was right with them, and I thought he was maybe even more impressive than Corbin in that win over North Carolina a couple weeks ago, especially late in the game, getting that run on 3rd down and getting the 1st down to burn the clock out. So it's been a heck of a year by those guys, and I don't think it's any coincidence. Like over the last 3 weeks, everything has been coming together more because the offensive line is as healthy as they've been all season. So it's going to be huge if Gibbons and DLT can both go on Saturday.
Now, you even go back to Notre Dame, it was – on those last drives, it was Treshaun Ward in the game, not Corbin. So the staff definitely trusts what they have in the backfield.
Yeah, no, they do. So, yeah, Dabo spoke a few things on that, but take that for what you want. Jameis, it was kind of a tough game there, but still, I mean, played well for the circumstances that he was in. I think Seattle defensively is getting better. They started off the season horrible on defense, but I think they're getting better and starting to find a little bit better of a rhythm.
They got to get him some more receivers, man.
Well, yeah, no, we'll get into that. But
it's ridiculous.
It's pathetic. Once again, he has to deal with, I mean, does Michael Thomas want to play again, or is he just done? And what's his hissy fit about?
He's been injured, and he had COVID, So
he,
yeah, I'm also injured.
So he didn't want to have that ankle surgery, right? So that's what it was. So, so you end up putting it off, end up having it or something. But that guy's just been a douche.
They thought he would be back. I think it was after the bye week, and then it came back that it's going to be even more time. So,
but I mean, as many issues as he's had, if he can come back to what he's normally been, that's going to be extremely helpful. I think they went and traded back for Mark Ingram today, right? Or they're talking about it.
They made the trade,
and they're talking about trading for Brandon Cooks. Bringing him back to New Orleans. It's maybe not the answer, but it's a stopgap. And I think that if Ingram, who I still think he has some left in the tank, that can put Kamara back in the passing game more. He's just lethal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad when they're in the red zone, and the first thing the announcers say is Taysom Hill's not a tight end, and they're missing him right now. Like, that's how bad it is for the Saints. They just have no separation as far as pass catchers. Traquan Smith was terrible Monday night.
He's awful.
Marcus Howard's fine, but he's not a number one receiver.
Yeah, I was going to mention Jameis went in on that kid, and rightfully so. I mean, the kid didn't even run around one time. I mean, Jameis threw him a ball, probably would have been open, but he just stood too busy fighting the DB. So DB wins that rep any day of the week, but Jameis went in on him, and Jameis is always just a walking meme everywhere and whatever he does. But absolutely chews out the kid. And that's what he's done at Florida State. We're used to seeing that, but went in on him, and I think Sean Payton loved it. He kind of was looking and like, oh shit, okay, Jameis, and walked away. But that's just what Jameis is dealing with right now. But I mean, the Monday Night Football crew, absolutely horrible. I felt like there's like 3 RG3s there in the booth, but saying stupid things of where Alvin Kamara should have been hit from Jameis when the safety's over coverage there and already has a corner on him. Like, what are we talking about? I could get a job up there saying some of the stupid things they have.
I would have thrown it. Yeah, you would have thrown it.
It would have been a pick 6. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
the
reason the
rainy
Manning
weather,
cast
windy.
is more watched.
Yeah. Well, rainy weather, windy. I mean, it's just true. That was true Seattle kind of weather there that night. And lucky enough,
I know.
James was able to get a win out of there.
Jameis got the W.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yep. Get the dub.
Got to beat the Bucs this week.
Oh,
That's right.
Got to blow them out.
I would love for him to put up 500 on them. How
8 touchdown
marvelous
passes.
would that be?
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I forgot that 4:25 primetime, little afternoon primetime situation.
I'm not Google. I don't know.
I might have to wear my Bucks.
Dustin's a Saints fan.
I don't know the time of the game. I know they play.
Dustin's a Saints fan, and then Dustin watched the Celtics. By the way, he watched his Celtics lose on opening night and missed our podcast.
4:25. I'm watching the Celtics play right now, and they're losing. It's great.
Logan, speaking of,
why couldn't you have done this last week and watched them lose?
That's
because he sucks.
Logan, a couple people have asked me where you got that Jameis Saints jersey at.
Oh, secret. Can't tell him. Plug. You know.
Man.
There's a reason why we were down there at the camp with Jameis. As you know, if you do get just little things. Just
got want to sell more jerseys though.
So what Chinese jersey website you get that off
of? Japanese. Let's be real here. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Let's jump into the one last thing for quick hitters regarding some football here. Got some NFL Noles changing. We got about 5 minutes till Jacques joins us. Dustin Hopkins gets let go by the Washington Redskins because he misses one field goal.
Washington football team.
The Washington football team.
Who gives a flying? Oh, I wish I could say it. We got sponsors though, but who gives a flying mother F? I think it's one of the stupidest things that they're called Washington football team. I mean, idiotic, but anyways, so stupid. But yeah, he gets let go by who gives a flying franchise up there in Washington, and now he's going to be joining some LA Noles over there. Just keeps on compiling up, but he's going to be joining the Chargers, joining Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr., Trey Marshall, and Gabe Neighbors.
Who was their kicker? Was it Bagley?
Nah, it was some no-name guy in his first year. Hold on, I'll find it real quick.
Goober.
Crickets.
Tristan Vizcaino.
Yeah, Goober, don't know.
Like I said.
And Hopkins got released for Chris Blewett, who went 1 of 2 on Sunday, so he already has half as many misses as Hopkins did all season.
Washington crappy skins are now my number one team that I hate the most, except for the Bucks. But I hope you're not listening, Dad. Sorry.
I was looking for my Bengals hat. Represent the home team.
Yeah.
Division leaders.
Yeah. Whatever. That won't last long. That's fine.
How's it being a fan of the worst team in the division? I just got to ask.
Worst team in the division. Talk to me in 5 weeks. We'll see what happens. Won't last long.
Worst team in the NFL.
Okay. Now
I'll say bottom 8.
Bottom 8. Take the cap off. We had a bye week, so you're lucky. You would have been already in the winning column.
Y'all lost the bye week.
When's the last time that the Steelers had a top 5 draft pick?
I'm not going to even answer that because what you're going to say is, well, get ready for it. It's going to be happening this year. But then if you say that, then I get my quarterback.
What quarterback?
Oh, actually, no.
Kid from Nevada.
They're taking Kenny Pickett. They're keeping Kenny Pickett home.
Yeah.
I actually get 2. Yeah. He's staying home just like we did with James Conner. That really worked out well.
They're taking Emory Jones.
No, man, I'm getting Aaron Rodgers anyways. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
Cap.
Forgot about that. Let's jump into some basketball before Jacques joins us because we got to talk a lot of Clemson here because everybody wants to keep talking about it. But quick hitters basketball wise, FSU lands Jeremiah Brimbley, Austin Vizia. What?
Jeremiah Bembry. Let's get it right.
Brimbley. You put Brimbley in the docket.
That was not me. That was Dustin.
Bembry. Oh my God, Dustin just made me look terrible. Oh no, on national television.
Let me check. I spelled it right.
Well, apparently not because.
Oh, never mind. Shit.
Yeah, Jeremiah Bembry. 6'6".
Good job, editor.
Hey, it's a hard name to spell. All right.
Jeremiah Bembry, 6'6", point guard from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Really talented kid. I mean, it's one of those guys where you watch his film, you're like, wow, this guy stands out. Just making flashy passes, super athletic, smooth shot. It's a little slow, got a little bit of a hitch, but it works and it's effective. He's unranked currently, but that's simply only because he didn't play AAU last year and he goes to a tiny school. That's really all it is. But you look at his offer list, it's Ole Miss, Rutgers, Seton Hall, Georgia Tech. It's a really good offer list. He instead of playing AAU, he played in the Egyptian summer circuit and killed it. He's a really talented guy. Staff thinks very highly of him, and get him on campus. He commits pretty much right away. He was on campus till Sunday and committed Monday. So really good get. Him and a guy that'll be coming later in the week will be setting up the point guard room very nicely for the next couple of years for Florida State.
Whoa, getting some hitting here.
Did he play in Egypt?
I think so.
Like you said, the Egyptian Summer League, right?
Summer circuit. So like kind of like
circuit.
kind of like AAU here is kind of what the vibe I got was what he did over there.
Is he Egyptian? Like how do you get over there?
That's a question I do not know the answer to right now.
I think he flew in a plane.
Okay,
a boat.
Boat.
All right.
A cruise ship, Carnival cruise ship over to the Gulf Coast. I don't know.
And then to keep going on recruiting, another guy that was on campus this past weekend, 4-star combo guard Chandler Jackson. He will be announcing Friday between Florida State and Tennessee. And if you've been following any prediction sites, you'll see where he's going to go. Ever since he announced his decision at noon today, he's picked up 7 predictions for Florida State. We have had this in the Discord since Monday that he'll be coming to Florida State. So just saying.
Flex on him.
Be a Patreon, join the Discord. We had it before anybody else, and I mean anybody else.
Momentum for the season.
He's a super talented kid. I guess as soon as we got word of it, everyone's like, "This guy is Trent Forrest 2.0," and like acts the same, plays the same work ethic, same personality.
Yeah,
it's such a perfect fit. 6'4", 6'5", 200 pounds, can light it up offensively. It's a phenomenal fit. For the longest time, I thought he was going to be a Tennessee-Memphis lane. Florida State's been recruiting him a long time. Kind of slowed a little bit when they thought they were going to get Jaden Bradley or Jason Gortman. As soon as they don't get them, they turn it on for Jackson. He's going to be a nice little surprise, nice little addition on Friday come 4:30.
Absolutely. Good stuff there. We'll get into some more basketball here, but I think we got Jacques. I think he hopped on here. He might have been texting asking, is this working? What up, Jacques?
What's up?
What's going on, man? How you been?
You can see me? Oh, I've been all right, man. How about yourself?
Doing good. Second time on the show, man. Good to hear from you.
No doubt, man. It's a blessing.
Joe hooked it up, man. Joe's the man.
They set it up, man. I told him if you can get at 6, then we can do it because I just got done at the facility not too long ago. So,
Did you really?
I'm excited to be on though for sure.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, well, we won't keep you for too crazy long, but definitely wanted to get some updates from you on stuff going on in the NFL. Maybe we'll talk a little current FSU and talk some Clemson this upcoming weekend too, which, as you know, big time game weekend.
Big time, yeah.
So, always is. But yeah, let us know what have you been up to and everything, because obviously the NFL career, and it's always crazy there in the business. You know how it is now, being in there for a while. But talk about maybe a little bit of time that you had with Cincinnati and now transitioning over to the West Coast.
Yeah, so, obviously you got my first shot in Cincinnati. I was there for through last year and through preseason and about a few weeks this year. They put me on the practice squad to start the season. After I had a really good preseason, I thought, sometimes it's just numbers and the way it goes, and that's the unfortunate part about the business. But I understood it, and I just was always preparing myself, just because I know another opportunity could come, with being on the practice squad, but I actually like Cincinnati, and I have no problem being there. I enjoyed my time there. And, it's pretty cool to see them having success, that they're having, I know a lot of those guys in the locker room, so it's always easy to root for those guys. I think about week 2, San Francisco called to sign me off the practice squad from Cincinnati. I've been here ever since. It's a big transition, though, just from being on the East Coast to the West Coast. And then the biggest surprise probably being out here, though, so far has been, like, the weather, though. Because, like, I left all my jackets. I probably bought, like, 3 jackets, like, because I'm going to California. It's cold. There's no way it's going to be cold. It's going to be hot all the time. So I left all my winter jackets inside and back in Ohio. And, bro, it's like surprisingly, bro, it'd be like high 40s, like low 50s most of the time here, and it's crazy. Like in Florida, that's freezing, like
yeah.
So it's been a cool journey so far, man. I'm just learning, getting adjusted, been pretty cool, man. I got my first like regular season carries here, got a chance to throw a ball in the game.
Yeah.
So it's been cool so far, man. I'm just working, trying to improve each and every day. Take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, I'm a Steelers fan, so whenever I heard that the Bengals were going to let you go, which I thought, me and Dustin talked about it too, we were kind of shocked that was happening because I thought you had a great preseason. Me and Dustin were like, what in the heck is going on there? And so since I'm a Steelers now, that means that I can give them a lot more hell since I'm not a big Bengals guy, but when you're over there, I got to pull for them a little bit. But now that you're over here with the 49ers, I'm neutral. I can pull for you fully over there, but I'm happy that things are going well and traveled over there safely and everything.
No doubt. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you said it yourself, but you got a chance to make the first 2 carries of your NFL career earlier this season with the 49ers.
Yeah.
What was that experience like to finally step into a regular season game and contribute a little bit?
Man, like I still remember my first carry. Like I got the first carry. It was a wide zone to the right, and bro, like I got it. I read it, cut it back, and it was me and the safety. And like he got me by this much, you know what I'm saying? It was this much from being like a 75-yard touchdown. I was so mad at myself. And like, and then, but it was pretty cool, man. Like I just like, just those little small things, those small moments let you know like you belong. And like I've always had that feeling of that I belonged, but it's a matter of showing it, so it's pretty cool that I got, those opportunities. I'm looking forward to getting a lot more, because I've been grinding for it. I've been working for it, man, praying for it. So, it's just a matter of time before, everything starts to unfold like I prayed and want.
So how's it working with a guy like Shanahan, guys, offensive, genius, young guy, super great, he's a great coach.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, like, what I'm saying? Like, I've been following, like, everyone's like, oh, Coach Shanahan's a genius and all this thing. So, you always watch, what they do. Obviously he had the guys in Atlanta. He had Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman. Most of his backs are always successful, And just being here, you can see, like, see it firsthand and, being able to, like, what I'm saying, just to be up close and personal with it. And, like, you see why he's had success, I'm specifically running the ball just because of how he manipulates the small things in the run game, man. It's pretty cool. And there's so much space when you're running the ball, man. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity, man. I just pray I can take full advantage of it, because I think I can do really great things out here.
Absolutely. What do you think has changed the most in your game style and running? Has it changed much, or coming from college ball and you being a big physical runner, has it changed any since joining the NFL?
I would say I've been like used a little bit. I've been used different. The NFL is a lot different than the college level as far as running the ball. You can run inside zone and all those type of things in the college level, but it's a little bit tougher in the NFL level because the 3 techs and then those, like, what I'm saying, the guys they put down on that front 4 or whatever front they want to get in. Just imagine trying to block Myles Garrett, what I'm saying, with a single block, what I'm saying? So it's much different, So nowadays, I feel like, since I've left college, I became a very effective wide zone runner, which is like bread and butter in the NFL right now. And that's helped me a lot, I felt like I was always good at inside zone, the powers and counters and stuff. But getting to this level now, I feel like I become very effective at running wide zone. And you see a lot of backs have success on that play. Specifically like Derrick Henry. That's all Tennessee does with him is wide zone. It's pretty cool. Just having your game involved. And you have much more time to do those type of things to evolve your game. And since you're a pro, it's your job. So you and it's not like college where you want to be good at everything. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're great at everything, you master nothing. And really, that's what I learned. I'm learning about the NFL is that whatever you're great at, be great at that, and and that's your thing. That's your calling. Be great at that and be better than everybody else at that. And that's what I'm learning. I'm a big physical guy. So when I get the ball, I'll be big and physical, and I can run too. So and make all the necessary cuts. So I just try to make one cut, get downhill. As fast as possible, as much as possible, because the guys don't want to, tackle 230 pounds every play, So
who's been the guy where you're like, man, like that you've gone up against that maybe, you were surprised, that they could bring it to you a little bit. You kind of just mentioned, you're a big back, not a lot of guys like to chop down at that, but. Has it been a guy you kind of brought it to you? Or like, man, kind of surprised?
I haven't gotten like. I would say I don't know. I'm not really sure, but it was one time in practice, like probably my rookie year. Maybe Von Bell. Like he's not small, but he's much smaller than me, and just him, he plays physical. He plays like a linebacker, a safety. Yeah, probably him just throughout that training camp my rookie year, just going against those guys a lot. So probably Buff Von Bell, I would say. He probably got a few good shots on me.
Yeah, you weren't the only former Florida State running back to get a shot with San Francisco a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Chris Thompson was there for a short stint. Now he's in Chicago. And I know you guys didn't get a chance to play with each other in college, but did you get a chance to have any conversations with him when you were together in San Francisco and get any advice from a guy who's played a long time in the league?
Yeah, I think Chris is going on 9 years, but like Chris was like, even though we didn't play together, me and like Chris always communicated with me like throughout my time at Florida State. Like Chris will like reach out to me. I remember around draft time, Chris reached out to me. It was like, man, it's not about where you get drafted at. It's about what you do, the opportunity when you get there. And like Chris was one of the most humblest guys you'll meet. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was here, like he was making sure like I got to the stadium. Make sure that because it was a time change. He'd take like, bro, you up? I got a car service to pick us up. Like little small things and like just helping me out here and there. Like what I'm saying? Like. Everybody that knows Chris could tell you the same thing about Chris. Like Chris is super humble, great dude, And I appreciate it. I appreciate even knowing him. You know what I'm saying? Because it's beyond football. He's a really good dude. I'm happy. He's get the opportunity in Chicago. We actually play Chicago this week, so I'll see him.
Nice. Got to get a picture afterwards so I can post it on social.
No doubt.
I want to ask about the lineage, the recent lineage of running backs coming out of FSU.
Yeah.
You're part of that, and you look at, I guess my question is, I've always thought that the game is changing a little bit in college, where there's not a lot of primary runners anymore. There's a lot of guys who share carries. How'd you look at that in college? Were you a guy who wanted to be a primary carrier, or did you kind of like that you could kind of share the load?
Well, my first 2 years, Dalvin was the primary carrier. You know what I'm saying? Like. Sometimes he would go down with injury or like, some games it would require both backs to go in and get a bunch of carries. And like, obviously, like I wanted to be the guy that got majority carries. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. I don't think any running back will say like, I understand I want to take a less amount of carries, but I never like was. I never frowned upon splitting carries, you know what I'm saying, because it kept me fresh and it kept whoever I was playing with fresh too, It was always cool though because you create sort of a tandem, between whoever it is, or you know what I'm saying. Like for me, really split carries was me and Cam. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just knew, like, when we came into the game, like, this is what we had to do, you know what I'm saying? And we knew we was getting this amount of touches. And, like, it's just not even a competition, but it just creates, like, okay, I know you're going to get this amount of touches. You're going to get this amount, you know what I'm saying? Let's see who you can do, you know, the most or whatever with it, you know? And that's pretty cool, though, you know, just playing with both guys. Because those are guys I shared touches with during my time there. So that's what I'm speaking of. But it's pretty cool, though, you know. I enjoyed it, you know. Both guys are great backs there. Both guys have succeeded in the NFL, you know. So it just shows, you know, the talent Florida State's been putting out, specifically at that position.
Yeah, no, Florida State, I mean, Dalvin Cook, he's had a phenomenal career so far with the Vikings. But, you know, talking about maybe the current state, we'll jump into this a little bit and get you out of here. But the current state of Florida State football and that running back room. I mean, right now you've got two running backs that are sharing a gray load, and you've also got Baby Nine. That's what Los calls them, Baby Nine, Toa Philly.
Yeah.
And then you've also got the transfer from Auburn, DJ Williams, who's starting to click a little bit too in that offense. But overall, talk maybe a little bit about that running back if you've been able to see a few of the games. But Ward and Corbin just absolutely killing it right now.
Yeah, I've seen all of them. I actually seen the guy from Auburn this past week. You know, we had a good run. I think it was like counter or something he scored on. The Corbin and Ward, though, those are two guys that really stand out. So Philly too, I thought he was going to have a much bigger role in the offense, you know, specifically, you know, what he did because of what he did as a freshman. You know, he was really explosive in the run game. But to talk about Corbin and Ward, man, those guys they're really good running backs, especially Corbin. I didn't know he had speed like that. You know what I'm saying? Just watching him last year, I didn't know he had the speed to, you know, hit home runs like that, and that's pretty cool. And then the Treshaun Ward kid, like, man, that's his story's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Becoming from a walk-on, I think I seen he was like the highest graded running back in the country. Man, that's awesome. And like when I see him, like I can't help but see Devontae Freeman. Like it's crazy. Like it's crazy, you know. And I think both of those guys, I know for a fact both of those guys will get a shot in the league, man. So, you know, they just gotta keep working, man, and keep doing the right things, man. Because I mean, they showing not just, you know, Florida State fans, but the whole, you know, the country that they're two really good backs. You know, I don't know what year Corbin is, so you know, if I don't know if he's draft eligible this year or not, but if he is, it probably might be his last year. Yeah.
You think he could? You think that's now going to be the big question mark heading into the end of November is going to be like, well, does he have a chance to go?
How many yards does he have? Well, that is nowadays. It really doesn't even matter how many yards you have now because
he's almost 700.
Yeah, because when you split carries and stuff, I don't think it matters as much because they usually go back to the film. They're like, okay, this guy can, you know, the things. But I mean, from what I've seen, I'm saying I've been around NFL backs and that's an NFL back. You know what I'm saying? Both of those guys are. You know, so it's pretty cool though. I'm hyped for it. Like. That's one thing I'm always, you know, I play running back there, so that's one thing I'm always pay attention to, regardless of what's going on there, you know. And I mean, it's pretty good that I think they won 3 in a row.
Yep, they're on a 3-0, 3-win streak right now.
I can start back bragging about my school, you know what I'm saying? Hey, no, let us mess around and beat Clemson. Hey.
As we move into Clemson week, what are some of your memories playing against Clemson while you're at Florida State?
My best memory though, playing against Clemson. I got a couple. My best
memory. Feel free to share.
My best memory playing against Clemson though was I had tore my meniscus my junior year, and I was supposed to be out like 46 months, and I ended up having surgery, and I ended up coming out of surgery. I'll never forget. Like I came out of surgery and I was walking like I was normal. I was like, where's my crutches? Like, you know what I'm saying? They telling me like, I'm like, they're like, you're fine. Like you don't need them. And they was like, yeah, the injury was like an old injury. And that you can potentially come back in a week and a half, 2 weeks. I'm like, huh? So I'm like, okay. So then we play Syracuse the next week, and I sit that game out because I just didn't feel ready. And then we played Clemson, and we ended up playing Clemson. And this is 2017. This is we played it. It was a close game up until like 4 minutes left in the game, I think it was. But I came back and I think it was like my 3rd or 4th carry, I scored a touchdown. And it was just like, man, like just resiliency, you know what I'm saying? That everything that touchdown was about, like that's what I stood for, man. It's just like thinking that my season was about to be over just 2 weeks ago to, scoring a touchdown in that game. And Clemson's one of the teams I wish I would have been able to do more against, just because that was they always are a top team. But I never forget, though, Clemson week, my freshman year, I was hurt, Dalvin was hurt, and we was having Kermit run reps at running back. Like, it was that bad. I think Pender was there. Pender was hurt.
Yeah.
And I think we just had J-Vic and Kermit. And we at this point, we didn't even know, because you don't have to release an injury report in college. So at this point, we don't even know, if me or Dalvin are going to play. You know what I'm saying? So we just looking and then Kermit was back there taking reps at running back. He was so scared. He was going to go for 100 yards. And it was crazy. Dalvin went for going for 170 yards that game. Bro, me and him didn't practice that whole week.
Wow.
Probably until Friday. We practiced that Friday, but yeah, he went for 170 yards. That was I was coming off the game against Syracuse. I had sprained my ankle the third play of the game. You know what I'm saying? And ended up spraining both my ankles that game. And then that's when we played Clemson the next week, and he went for 170 or something like that crazy. But that was another story. But Clemson was always a fun week, though, you know what I'm saying? Because we knew the implications of that game. We're usually right in the mix of being in the college football playoff when it came to that game. And we knew that winning that game, that can propel us to our goals. They cheated us one year, though, and inside dope, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Freddie. Inside dope, that was the craziest part. We got cheated at home, but that's another story. But
ACC ref.
yeah. That was the start of Clemson's reign. Man,
that's what gave it to him.
Yeah. No, but before we get more to Clemson, I got asked about Dalvin. I've never seen a back that he's had injury issues. It's called what it is, but a guy who can take care of his body and play so well while he's injured.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy because there's been times, you know what I'm saying? I know his shoulder, he had so many injuries, little not injuries. I would say little small things, but when it came game day, bro, none of that mattered. You know what I'm saying? One of the toughest players I ever played with. You know what I'm saying? He always found that way. You know what I'm saying? That rubbed off on everybody in that room. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I had knee surgery in my junior year, I could have just man, I'm good. I ain't coming back from this. You know what I'm saying? But I should think of all the things that he should deal with and still go out there and dominate. You know what I'm saying? If I just imagine if he was 100% healthy, during his whole time at Florida State, the records he broke, you know what I'm saying? Why dealing with the injuries he did with, it's crazy. People don't even know, bro, the man is insane.
Crazy. He is crazy. Before, I don't know if you want to, we'll get to that as score predictions if you want. But before that, I wanted to ask real quick, too, because we talked with a fellow Sports Illustrated guy that covers Clemson, and I talked with him earlier tonight, and he was saying that Florida State, that's one of their biggest rivals just because South Carolina, hasn't been really competitive with them in a very, very, very long time. But where do you put Clemson? Do you call them a rival, or is it that way? I know Florida, Miami, those are different animals, but are they a rival to you guys, or what?
For me, the way I would rank it is Miami, Florida. Well, I don't know, Miami or Florida, either way you want to rank it, then Clemson.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It just depends on which team is better at the time. I would say between Florida and Miami. Florida was usually a little bit better than Miami when we were playing them. Yeah. So for the Florida games were always, a little bit. But the Miami games had a different type of energy, though, in my opinion, just because we had a lot of guys that came from Miami. And the history of the rivalry, that's what legends were made, you know what I'm saying, even in the Florida game. But I feel I would say Miami, Florida, then Clemson for me.
Okay.
That's because, though, we were dominant over Florida, though, for most of my time there, so that's why I could probably have that opinion of it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Florida games,
Dustin,
my last question for you tonight. Florida State, they're going into Death Valley, a really tough environment on the road. You got a chance to play there in 2015 and 2017. So what were your experiences like, and how tough is it to play there?
Man, they get super loud there. Like loud where you can talk to somebody and they can't even hear you, you know. And like that's one of the games we always use. We usually use signals for most of the games, but we definitely had to use our signals for that game. And like that's a great place to play in, great environment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially like we knew that we used to play them in prime time, so like that was even better, you know. And it's definitely a great experience, you know. Well, it's nothing like dope. It ain't nothing like dope, you know what I'm saying? Dope in prime time is nothing like that. But I mean, I get hats off. They got a nice stadium and it's cool to play there. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what would you tell a guy like Treshaun Ward who he's not seen really playing time in this kind of hostile environment? What would you tell him? What kind of advice would you give him for a younger guy? And like I said, not had a lot of experience in these kind of environments.
Yeah, really just to make sure you're here to play and just treat it like any other game. You know what I'm saying? Coach is going to take, I know they probably got the noise at practice this week, but yeah, just treat like every other game. Be a little bit more attentive to detail, especially just because you probably won't be able to hear the calls and stuff. Or I'm pretty sure they're gonna have signals. But man, just play your game. Be you. Don't change. Don't ever change just because the environment change or the circumstances change. Like, bro, just be you every day. You know what I'm saying? If he continues to be himself, like, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna be fine. You know, a lot of young guys. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Some of the young guys is gonna be, they're gonna be shocked by it. You know, or that just is what it is, you know, because a lot of guys have never played in that type of environment, you know. But I mean, Clemson, I mean, they're not really the Clemson of old, so you know, I don't know if their fans are gonna show up, but regardless of who shows up or not, you know what I'm saying, you can roll out in the stadium, nobody shows up. Football still gotta be played, you know. That's one of the things Jimbo always told us, like, it don't matter who shows up. I mean, we're gonna play you. We'll play you in the parking lot, you know.
Yeah, and I have one more because we haven't had someone that's most recent having played at Florida State, but we've seen a lot of growth and maturity wise these last couple of weeks, at least this season overall, and guys holding each other accountable. And how big was being leaders, you being a leader along with other guys in y'all's locker room during your time at Florida State? How big does that play a factor on the game, on game days, and how, you know, things go about? Because now you're seeing guys call each other out on plays when guys are roughing the passer. You know, we saw Gaynor get called out by Keir Thomas this past weekend. We've seen it before where Sidney Williams was chirping with the player, and you saw Jarrett Jackson come over and pull his helmet over and say, "No, we can't be doing that." How does that kind of growth there do for a team, you think? And did you have any kind of leaders on your team?
Yeah, you can tell this accountability being held, you know, amongst the locker room, because you can just see, because I look at it like this: when you lose to a team like Jacksonville State, and then you come back and beat a team like North Carolina, and you win 3 games straight, you know, and you know it has to be some type of accountability being held. You know, somebody saying something. Somebody's saying the right things, because it's like, you know, those things that happened before aren't happening as much or at all anymore, you know. And when you could check when your leader, when, you know what I'm saying, check and balance, that's what I call it. You know, you know, when the top guy can get called out, you know, when he's not doing what he needs to do, then you know what I'm saying, you got something. And it's from bottom to the top, you know. I think when you understand that everybody's important, like that's what Jimbo harped on us, you know what I'm saying? He was just like, everybody's important, you know, from the guys that run scout team to the best player on the team. You know, he said, if you got a BMW and you pull a spark plug out of it, it's not going to run. Just something that small, you know? And that's just really what it is. I see a lot of accountability, you know, looks like a lot of accountability being taken amongst the players. The coaches if the coaches ever lead the team won't be good. You know, they'll be good, but they won't reach their full potential, you know. We'll see, though. You know, we'll see this Saturday, you know, as if the progress is you know, what this guy's going to be, you know, because this will be a big win for the program and a big win for those guys, you know. And I think if they win this game, they can roll through the rest of the schedule.
I got one more question before. So
we ain't letting Jack Wesley.
Yeah. So you were on the podcast with James and Freddie, right?
Yeah.
So it's 4th and 1 at the 1 yard line. You got to get a touchdown to win. Who's getting it between the three of you? Is it James, you, or Freddie?
Oh, I like me. I like me to. Hey, coach, if call my name, I'm gonna go get it.
All right.
Which one of them is blocking for you?
Yeah, which
Who's
one?
blocking for you?
Hey, I take either one. Both of them. Hey, both, put one on the ball, put one in the backfield. Let's go.
But and then kind of a follow up. I've always felt that confidence plays a big role.
100%.
Yeah. So we talk about FSU's won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
They're going into Clemson. Clemson's struggling this year.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick. Talk about the impact of just having confidence in your abilities, even if you may not be the more talented team, top to bottom, but you may have that confidence that allows you to keep the dog in the fight. Talk a little bit about that.
See, this is one thing about this team that I can see though, because I believe on your best days you build confidence and you learn confidence. On your worst days, you learn persistence. You know what I'm saying? This team has been through their worst days, you know what I'm saying? Like with Jacksonville State, so they losing to Notre Dame, losing to Wake Forest. So they're learning persistence to keep going, you know what I'm saying? And that showed between North Carolina and even the UMass win, you know what I'm saying? So with those wins, they just building confidence, you know what I'm saying? So it's the two things, confidence, persistence, and like you just got to know you always can learn something, you know what I'm saying? Because we all have good and bad days. You know what I'm saying? So on your bad days, you just learn persistence, and on your good days, you learn your confidence. And when you got your confidence, you know what I'm saying, you in your groove, and nothing can really throw you off. You know what I'm saying? And confidence comes from knowing your responsibilities and knowing where to be, knowing where to line up. And just doing it. Then you can go out there and execute. Everything else is easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that too. I think there is some confidence building in that locker room right now, and wins help it for sure. But it just seems like the whole maturity phase of things is helping a lot, and leaders are growing. Well, you want to do a score prediction for Saturday? Now, Joe said, I don't know if he's keeping up with FSU. I don't know, but I got to tell Joe, Jacques is watching every game. So I think he's watching right now. Joe's watching right now. So Joe, Jacques is keeping up. So that means we got to get a score prediction from you. I mean, we got to get something.
I definitely like an FSU win.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Listen, Clemson's been struggling to score this year.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it being like a 28-17 Florida State game. I can see it being something like that. If Florida State defense comes to play, I know they're going to be able to capitalize on some opportunities offensively. Clemson got some guys on defense, but I think Jordan Travis, the running backs, they got some guys at receiver that can make plays. I think 28-17, somewhere in that ballpark. That's going to be the score.
That's a decisive victory, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's a big time.
Valley.
Yeah, it's going to be somewhere in that ballpark.
Hey, when's the last time you saw Clemson 84th in the country?
84th?
Running the ball. Only 132 yards a game running the ball. Clemson.
Man,
it's been a minute.
Because they ain't got those guys anymore, man. They ain't got. I mean, they probably got some younger guys there. They gotta get grown in and stuff. But I mean, they had ETN. They had Watson running the ball.
Watson, Boyd, all of them.
So Wayne Gallman, they had all those guys. But it's crazy. I mean, but hey, no excuse. I don't care. I don't care how bad you is. You playing Florida State. You know what I'm saying? Show up.
Absolutely, man. Jacques, it's always a pleasure to have you on. I love being able to reconnect with you and get updates on how everything's going for you. And definitely wish you the best. Stay healthy. We'll stay connected as always. Definitely appreciate you bringing in a lot of insight too on this. Seems to be a growing team in Florida State. Maybe a little turnaround happening in Tallahassee. So
no doubt. Appreciate y'all time.
Thank you, Jacques. All
right, see you.
Have a great rest of your evening, man, and rest of the season.
All right,
thanks, man. Well, that was a great interview there from JP. He's always awesome. We had him on one time before, but great insight. And I thought he brought some great knowledge about what it's like to be in a locker room and that growing accountability as a team. That's why I wanted to ask him, because he's been around some great leaders, some great playmakers and everything, and he's been around a successful team. But I wanted to see if he had any insight, and thought he graded some good points for sure.
Yeah, and I need him to start a motivational quotes book, because, man, I was getting a little fired up over here. I was like, all right.
I know the chat was loving
bringing
it.
Energy. It's 9:30. I guess it's only 6:30 for him, but I can't go to bed now.
You might write another article tonight. Dang, look at that. You might be a better editor on our podcast.
Bad days build persistence. Good days build confidence, baby.
Yeah. Hey, put it. He does need to make a little book there. I love it.
That was nice. I liked it.
Yeah, a great interview there from JP. Appreciate Joe for hooking that one up. Best
You're
of luck
welcome
to
for the
them,
question.
49ers.
That was a good question.
Yeah, you know Nate's got to get his credit. Nate's got to get his credit. Austin, run us through the last little bit of basketball here, and then we'll jump into a fat part of this Clemson preview.
Yeah, so we were talking about Chandler Jackson. The third guy that was on the visit was Ala Etin Boutieb. I pray I'm announcing that right.
Better than
I'll learn by the time he's on campus.
Let me try.
Oh yeah, you go, Dustin. You say it. No, you go ahead.
Ala Adin Boutieb.
I think we're all in the same realm. He's a Moroccan big man that's currently playing in France. Skilled, talented big. He should be coming to Florida State. He would have committed on Monday, but he's still trying to figure out some paperwork. I fully expect him to commit to Florida State, hopefully sometime in the next week. And then that'll be the second time this season where every guy that came on a visit committed when they all came together. Because first it was Tom House and Deontay Green. Now you're looking at Jeremiah Bembry already committed. You got Chandler Jackson probably coming Friday, and then Boutieb sometime next week, hopefully.
Yeah, so Jackson was a guy that you weren't too confident on maybe coming into the visit, but it seems like the Florida State staff, once again, they blew a visit out of the water.
Once I saw he brought 9 family members to the visit, I'm like, okay, he's coming to Florida State because no one brings 9 family members to visit. Usually you see like a mom, a dad, and a sibling. You don't see the entire extended family, uncles, cousins showing up. It was cool to see, honestly. I'm glad they had a good time, and I'm really looking forward to his announcement for Friday.
I think you said 2 weeks ago. Florida State, recruited a lot of these big time guys. They thought they had a chance at some of these 5-star, whatever you want to call them. How you feel now about where Florida State's at recruiting wise? Some of them a little bit less known, whatever, but you can't doubt this staff's ability to kind of scout.
To scout and most importantly develop. They know how to develop guys, just turn them into NBA guys. We've seen it with 5 stars like Patrick Williams. We've seen it with 3 stars like Devin Vassell. They know how to turn these guys out and put them in basically a factory now of just making them athletic, making them 3-point shooters, how to play the game of basketball correctly and know how to play your role, because that's so big in the NBA these days.
I don't follow basketball recruiting too much, but it's like sorry to cut you off, but it's like they have a mold and they do a great job of like finding the next guy, and there's really not a ton of drop off while they're starting to bring in these Clevelands and Worleys and even back to the Bacons and Mans,
Yeah, and part of it's just like with point guard, you're kind of seeing it with how they recruited the last few years. They want the next Trent Forrest, because Trent Forrest was just so impactful for this program. They bring in a guy like Jalen Worley, who's 6'5", athletic, plays the game at his own pace. Going to bring in a guy like Chandler Jackson, 6'4" combo guard, which is what Trent was listed as, coming out of high school, plays the game at his own pace, super great kid, super hard work ethic. Jeremiah Bembry, 6'6" point guard. Like, you're seeing this just over and over and over. They consider themselves Big Guard University for a reason. These guys are just, they want these bigger guards that they're going to give you hell 94 feet up and down the court all game long. And to your point, but like 2 weeks ago, things were looking dire. Julian Phillips commits to LSU. You'd already lost Jason Gorman to overtime elite. Dylan Mitchell had started leading to Texas, which he ended up committing to Texas this week. Things were looking pretty rough, but to recover with getting Chandler Jackson and Jeremiah Bembry at the point that really sets up your point guard room for the next 3 years. At bare minimum, along with Jalen Worley. You get 2 really talented bigs in Cameron Corin and Boutieb. Tom House is a very skilled shooter. We'll see what he develops into. And then Deontay Green's just this hybrid forward role that can play the 3 or the 4, hit the 3, score from all 3 levels. I think they still got to get a wing. It's got to be a transfer. The fact that they're bringing in 6 freshmen essentially is mind blowing. So next year might be a little rough trying to break in all of these new guys, but they'd give themselves at the very least a baseline to have a very successful 2024, 2025. Because some of these guys are really, really talented. They just got to get coached up a little bit.
And then Florida State. Sorry, my cat is just attacking me everywhere. Like just getting in front of the camera. I can't type anything whatsoever. She's licking my hand while I'm using the mouse. I'm just over here just getting battered right here. But I'm staying in it. I'm confident. I just got all the hype from Jacques Patrick. I'm focused and I'm keyed in. Florida State does have an exhibition game, though, tomorrow.
They're on the court tomorrow against Mississippi College. I can't wait. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch. Cause I don't know if they're going to stream it. I don't know if it'll be on any networks after, but I'm so desperate for basketball.
Probably not.
I doubt it.
That's why you get in the Discord. You get the inside scoop from VZ.
Hoping Dustin will be at the game, so at least somebody has an idea. It's free. Like,
wow.
Come on, Dustin.
Would you say, wow, you live in Tallahassee, Logan?
Yeah, but he doesn't know the difference between Jalen Roy and Matthew Cleveland, so.
What? Yes, I do, clown. Of course I do. Come on now. Damn. Jesus. And I love Michael here. We're still a football school, right? But really excited for basketball.
If I get an extra nap in tomorrow, I might make my way out there for a half. But
crazy.
Get your nap in. Oh, my God.
You want me to go
please take care
game?
of your son. Jesus.
It's 2 hours.
Are you 12?
Is it the fiance? Is she telling you can't go?
No, I'm just
come on from work, drink some warm milk, take a nap. Drink some hot tea, chamomile tonight. Get some rest. Get up.
Did you say camel milk?
Yeah. No, chamomile. It's just spice, dude. It's get some hot tea, get some rest, so you can go watch one half of basketball.
I'm excited to see these young guys.
Hopefully that's all. Hopefully that's all you would need versus Mississippi College, unless they take it deep into the second half. Then Austin might be on watch.
I ain't staying to watch all the walk-ons play. I'm just saying.
You're telling me you don't want to see Harrison Prieto play? I'm offended.
Don't say anything. He probably listens to this.
I appreciate his weather forecasting.
That's crazy. Harry, you're my guy.
Oh, my God.
I stand up for you. It may just be me. It may just be me. Also, shout out to former walk-on Will Miles. It's his birthday today. So,
shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out you.
Shout out.
Hit 5 stars on
We're gonna have to get it on pod this week. That's one of the funniest dudes I've ever met.
That's right. We're gonna do a full-on breakdown of the season. Don't worry about that. VZ's lining up the guests.
Let me know when you're ready.
A-list.
I got
Only
all the
A-list.
basketball knowledge.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. But yeah, let's jump in. Are we wrapped up on basketball? Because the people are itching. The chat is like asking 80 questions about this Clemson game.
Real quick, we'll mention Scotty Barnes just absolutely torching the NBA so far.
He killed us, bro. He killed us.
Put up a double-double.
And let's talk
25 points and 13 boards in his second game. Whew.
Are we not going to reminisce about what Dustin said a couple months ago about Scotty Barnes?
Didn't you say that he's going to be a bust and you hope Boston doesn't take him or something like that?
Hey, he's having a great start to the season. Still needs to get that 3-pointer.
Hey, Logan,
right. I need to
bring that back up. I need you to find that and cut that into the podcast.
Bring it up. He's having a great start to the season. He's proving the doubters wrong right now. But hey, we're 4 games in, baby. We got 78 to go. So let's see how this goes through the rest. Let's not just anoint him the savior just yet.
He was taking Pat to school. You saw that spin move that he put on Pat? I mean,
the thing that's blown me away the most is his mid-range jumper. I mean, I really only watched Celtics game, but he's hitting everything. He's shooting his jumper with a lot more confidence than he had at Florida State.
It's so much more sped up. It's not as long. It's not as big of a windup. It's smooth and confident. I love it.
You can tell he's put some serious time into it because that was a deficiency of his game at FSU.
And there's a lot of NBA people I follow that say he has Giannis strides. Like he just has these long strides where he takes just 4 steps from half court to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it. I mean, the spin move was like from right at the free throw line.
It was disgusting. I know Pat just turned around and went, man, what? Like it was one of those. Terrence Mann's off to a great start. He had that really nice step back 2 nights ago where he made Nasir Little go back to North Carolina.
No.
Just a disgusting step back. And Devin Vassell's off to a really hot start as well. And he had 19 points in his first game, had a couple big plays against the Lakers the other night. NBA and Nole's doing their thing.
Love it. Love it. Both NFL and NBA. It's crazy. I mean, man, every night there's something going on with an NFL player. So it's really fun to cover for sure on our side of things.
Or NBA.
And NBA. Well, NFL, NBA, I was like everywhere, every sport. Just
the only sport that matters is football. So let's get into
let's get into Clemson. We're 2 weeks from basketball season. 2 today. 2 weeks.
It's crazy. It's come quickly.
Yeah, ready, Nate, to get into some football talk? Florida State.
Let's get in the fight.
You're ruining my hype. I'm getting the hype going here, and you just cut me down. Florida State is going to be. God dang it! I was going again. Dang it. Florida State's taking on the Clemson Tigers on Saturday. Primetime ESPN, 3:30. Florida State's going to be facing Dabo Swinney after some interesting comments made by Dabo Swinney this last year after supposedly Florida State sissied out of the game per Dabo Swinney and Clemson because Florida State had to follow COVID protocol and actually care about their players. But Florida State is looking to go on a 4-game winning streak with a win in Death Valley this upcoming weekend. Practice this week was great. I think Mike Norvell was pleased overall with it. Really competitive, really chippy, really physical. And, right now, I think a lot of people are feeling optimistic about this game because because Clemson's vulnerable. I think the main worrisome is maybe Clemson's defense. But other than that, just really going to depend Florida State's running game and everything about that nature. But first thoughts about heading into this game, gentlemen. I know you guys have done a lot of researching and doing y'all's homework on this one. This is always the big game of the year. And right now, we never would have said this before in the preseason, but Florida State has a chance to go up to Death Valley and upset the Tigers.
First things first, Clemson sucks, especially offensively.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good. They've had 2 games where they put up more than 20 points. And those 2 games were against South Carolina State and an overtime loss against NC State when they scored 21. So congratulations on that. They're struggling offensively. They're top 30 in total penalties. They're, like Nate mentioned with JP, they're really struggling to run the ball. DJ Ukulele's only completed 55% of his passes. And they're just struggling on the offensive side of things. If it wasn't for the just phenomenal defense, I mean, they'd be 2-5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in my opinion, these are 2 teams at this point of the season that are trending in opposite directions. You look at Florida State, 3 straight wins coming into this contest, a lot of confidence from the Seminoles. For Clemson, just 2-2 in your last 4. Your offense has been pathetic all season. You haven't been able to throw the ball despite all the talent out at wide receiver. You haven't been able to run the ball. The defense has still been pretty solid, but I think they showed some warts last week against Pittsburgh that Florida State can take advantage of. And I mean, they're also a really banged up football team. They've had 19 players miss at least 2 games this season, 10 players out for the year currently, including a couple more that got hurt against Pittsburgh. One, a starting offensive lineman, I believe a starting tight end went out as well. And their leading rusher isn't going to be available for this game. So a lot of the chips are kind of starting to shift into Florida State's favor because, the Seminoles were banged up back in September, but I would say right now, coming out of the bye week and that game against UMass, they're probably as healthy as they've been all season.
I want to start my Clemson preview with a shout out to Tiger Net. I have a screenshot. I've been waiting for this. I think
throwing shots at another outlet.
I think they listened to the podcast because this guy, his preseason preview of the game said that the game will be so bad that he doubted Mike Norvell would be able to make it to the 50-yard line for a post-game handshake. His expectation was DJ Ukulele, however you say his name, by this point in the season would have the offense in cruise control with 3 defined running backs, and that he thought that this game would be a crazy stat line. His projection for this game was 73-21.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What? There's no shot.
No. Did he really?
Yeah.
Wait, this week or was this 3 years ago?
This is preseason. Okay, this wasn't recently. So
That was this week?
73-21. So I don't even know if Clemson scored 73 points all season yet. Take away the 49 they had against South Carolina State, and this is an offense that's been flat horrible. They're scoring 8 points a game in the first half, which is 119th in the country. They're scoring 6 points in the second half, which is 124th in the country. So it's not like they get better as the game goes on; they get worse as the game goes on. As I said earlier, I can't recall over Dabo's time at Clemson that the running game has been as horrible as they had. Pace is out. He's got COVID. Shipley, who, 5-star recruit, he's been banged up all year. He's playing injured. You have a quarterback who doesn't run. It doesn't fit his style. And if you look at the, what's his face? Trevor Lawrence, Taj Boyd, Watson, even the guy Bryant, all guys that could run and open up that offense. And now, I think that hit a lot of warts that Clemson had with the run game. They really haven't had a true number one guy. They have had NTN, and then maybe Gallman you could put there. But, I think NTN is way more of a miss than what you have with Trevor Lawrence. I think that is killing them more than anything this year. But Clemson's offense is horrible. One thing I've been tweeting about all week is that I think Florida State fans are afraid to say that FSU can win this game because of what happened early in the year. This is a completely different team. This isn't the Clemson team that played Georgia. And
he's up.
And it always happens at the perfect timing whenever he's going on.
To his point, if you take out their 40-plus point win against South Carolina State, they're only averaging 15 points a game total.
Sorry,
it's not a good offense.
Sorry, I hit the leave button. My bad.
You're just out of here. You're having a great sermon there.
No, but this isn't a great Clemson team, and I think Florida State fans are afraid to say that. This is a team that can be beat. They didn't look great against NC State. They did not look. Yeah, they beat Georgia Tech 14-8. They barely beat Syracuse. They looked outmatched against Pitt. Yeah, Pitt's having a really good season, especially offensively. But I can't see coming into this game where Clemson is that much better than FSU right now. I can't see it.
Florida State's going to have to create something on defense or on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Just because while Clemson's been struggling, their defense is still really good.
Yes,
and we've seen them just be able to shut down drives. Outside of the Pitt game, where Pickett's just having a phenomenal season, you can't really fault Clemson's defense. But outside of that, I mean, they held Georgia to 10 points, and ever since then, Georgia's just looked unreal. It's still really talented.
But it's not
really
the same
defense.
team.
It's not the same team, but Florida State's still going to have to create something on defense to get them in good field position.
Correct.
Maybe it's a long punt return, long kick return, but they're going to have to do something on defense. Force a fumble, get a pick, do something to give your offense a chance to get some points.
This is a game where Travis is going to have to hit those deep shots. He's going to have to stay in the pocket, look downfield. Clemson is only, I think, getting 3 sacks a game. They're not that much better. I think they're 68th in sack rate. FSU 67th. So, there's not much difference there. FSU's pass defense is a little bit better than Clemson. Season to date, the big difference is the running game. But you look at Clemson, like I said in our production meeting, they're giving up 5 yards of rush on first down. That's a big opportunity for Florida State to stay ahead of the chains and not have to be so dependent on the big play. If they could just, wear down a team that is banged up. But yes, they will have to hit some chunk plays through the air, and they will still have to play a clean game. FSU is not good enough to have 100 yards and penalties and 2 turnovers and when they got to still play clean.
Yeah, it's nothing too fantastic or monumental, but it was announced from Dabo Swinney that Kobe Pace is in COVID protocols. So their leading rusher, Clemson's leading rusher, will not be able to play on Saturday against Florida State. Not that he's had anything too crazy, fantastic. Like I mentioned, only 327 yards on the season, averaging about 5.5 yards per carry, only 3 touchdowns. Yeah, a little dinged up too over here. But that offense, I mean, it is atrocious.
Yeah, and I think, this one's really going to come down, in my opinion, to who makes less mistakes on offense. You look at Florida State. On offensively, you've turned the ball over one time in your last 3 games. You haven't killed yourself with penalties. You're going to have to do that again in Death Valley. And I really feel like the first team that hits 20 points wins this game.
I don't think a team hits 20 points.
No.
I will get the score predictions later. I don't think a team gets there. Florida State's going to have to be like, they're going to have to create plays like they did against UNC, where they're sucking down the defensive backs to get those play actions over the top. It's going to have to be things like that to get those chunk yardage plays.
Y'all realize FSU is 27th in the country now in penalties after that really horrible start, which is the exact opposite of Clemson. It's 112. So not only is Clemson, struggling, but they're also just self-inflicted wounds. So
looking back at,
you'd love to see it.
They could have been really last weekend against UMass. They could have been really just out of it and could have caused a lot of penalties on themselves, Florida State. But they didn't. Only had 3 penalties in that game. They could have acted the fool and played around and stuff, but they stayed checked in and didn't cause any penalties. And that's been huge. They've been on a trend. With that for the last couple of weeks, and that's helped them sustain drives. I mean, the drives that Florida State is having, that's something Norvell talked about after the North Carolina game. He said, we were just able to sustain drives that entire game and stay on the field, and that helped the defense so much, getting rest. And, I think it's a good point there, Nate, talking about that, Jordan Travis is going to have to hit these long shots because I think they're going to be available. I do think that, this team is dinged up a little bit. They do have playmakers, yes, but still defensively, I know that was the first instinct going into this game over this last weekend was like, all right, so how good it really is Clemson's defense, but there's some spots there that are vulnerable that Florida State can take advantage of, and one of them is just going to have to be those one-on-one shots with Jordan Travis, and there's been attempts, there's been connections, but it's just been inconsistent at times. But because we know the running game, I think we all here feel pretty confident Florida State is going to run the ball pretty well. But there's going to be some times where we're going to have to extend, against Clemson's defense and get after their DBs a few times. Or maybe not. I mean, then you got, Cameron McDonald, who's been clicking lately right now. I mean, and Toa Philly seems to be kind of in a groove where you could throw him and dump off some passes to him if you can get him out in space. That's something that Norvell and Dillingham, since the North Carolina game, they've been calling some really pretty game plans for getting guys in space.
I swear, though, if a Florida State punt returner catches a punt inside the 5-yard line, I might show my phone to the TV. Because this is a game they can't do that. They can't. You could do that against UMass. I kind of mentioned that in the 3-up, 3-down was, the constant catching of the punts inside the 5-yard line, which is just completely. I just don't understand that.
No, that can't happen.
I cannot believe that they're coached to catch that ball. That's just lack of awareness.
Yeah, and I mean,
which is probably why you saw him off of that depth chart this week as a punt returner. It's Helton and Treshaun Ward.
He's been doing it all season.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not the special team.
The return game in general. I mean, punt and kickoff return. It's been mostly pathetic so far. I mean, you've got guys back there that you would think have the athleticism and the experience, especially in a guy like Keyshawn Helton's part, to make those plays, to have the awareness to know when to field a punt or let it go, to know when to bring a kickoff out or let it go. Just haven't seen it. It's not your typical Mike Norvell team where there's a lot of emphasis on the performance of the special teams, at least the return game.
Mm-hmm.
I
got an answer for Nick.
Yeah, Nick's question asks, what's the biggest key area we need to succeed in to get the dub in Death Valley? Go ahead, Nate.
You look at NC State and Pitt, they were able to just close to say dominate them throwing the ball. Florida State's not nearly as efficient throwing the ball. Pickett's having a great season. Even Leary played a hell of a game against Clemson. He had 4 touchdown passes. No interceptions. Florida State's going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to. Yeah, Travis has been efficient. Last couple of weeks. 10 of 14, 11 to 13. He's going to have to be, I think, like 14 out of 20, 15 out of 22. He's going to have to throw the ball more and stretch the field to keep Clemson from trying to stack the box, which is just my feeling of what they're going to try to do. So they're going to have to throw the ball.
And to Nate's point, Clemson's 4-0 when the opposing team is 61% completion percentage or lower, and 0-3 when they're higher than 61%. So it's not just throwing the ball. He's got to be efficient with it, and no shooting yourself in the foot. We've already talked about it a little bit, but if they come out have 2 turnovers, 8 penalties, there's just no way you're going to go into Death Valley and win a game. Got to play clean. Got to get these easy looks for Jordan Travis in the offense, and hopefully the receivers make some plays because there's still some really talented DBs.
I've been saying that for a minute, Bobby. Toa Philly was really good in high school as a punt returner, kick returner. I don't understand. I don't understand why he hasn't been back there. Sorry, Justin.
I was just saying, to get that passing game opened up, you're going to need to run the ball early and often, like you did against North Carolina. Draw the defense in, and then go to the play action pass. Get Jordan Travis out of the pocket. Let him make the decision whether to tuck it and run or make that throw downfield, like we saw time and time again against North Carolina. And, like you said, Nate, I think probably 15 to 20 passing attempts with 40-ish runs, a heavy lean on the running game, but you still implement the pass to hopefully hit a couple deep shots. That should be enough to beat this defense, as long as Florida State's own defense can continue to hold Clemson and not let them get over 21.
Absolutely. I'm going to jump in here real quick before we move on to the rest of this preview and score predictions. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you guys are texting us here. Our number, 850-616-8661. We're giving you guys latest news, breaking news, recruiting news, basketball stuff too, starting to fly through there to y'all's phone. So it's kind of like an email newsletter, but it just goes to your phone. It's actually me texting you straight here, and maybe soon we'll have some of the guys get on there. I would be kind of worried about Nate texting some of y'all, to be honest. So we'll see. But if you want to text Nate, then text that number right there, 850-616-8661, and just say, I'm asking for Nate. If we get 5 people to text me and say, I want Nate, I want to talk to Nate, then we'll get Nate on the line, and he'll just start texting people, which is extremely scary to think of.
We can barely get Nate in the Google Doc. Ain't no way we're getting him on that.
I'll jump on text.
He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out.
I'll give two damns about a Google Doc. I'm just flowing, man. We're flowing right now.
Texting's easy peasy. So yeah, definitely text us for updates. Like I said, you're texting us. You're not texting some stupid bot or anything. So yeah, text the number 850-616-8661. And I will go ahead and say, we are giving away 5 shirts too of Nole Game Day shirts. So you see the one that Nate's got on there that he's repping. We also got the white one, the white one I love the most, nice and clean. And Austin and Dustin just don't wear any kind of Nole Game Day gear ever. So
I like to say neutral.
He's got the sticker. Got the sticker. Stay neutral. Yeah, he's a journalist, so Dustin can't even rep his own site.
I'm kind of with Austin though, man. It's time to up the game a little bit and get some polos.
Yeah, we do got to get polos. Now they're in the press box.
It'd be so great. I'm going to the press box this weekend. You know how official it'll be to walk into Death Valley with a Nole Game Day polo on? But no, I got to wear a black Nike polo.
I'm worried that you won't even wear it. I give him all this stuff. He'd rather wear shoes, all these flashy shoes, Nate. And
I'll get ready for the shoe game Saturday. I'm going crazy.
Oh, damn. He's going to be popping in the
I'm
press.
going crazy.
It'll be a lot better than what Dustin wears. I'll tell you that for damn sure.
Is Dustin's gray sneakers, because that's all he wears is gray.
I was wearing black sneakers.
Hey, and it's a different color. I'll give you that.
Still very bland. But yeah, text us, hang out with us. Like I said, I had a lot of y'all text last weekend, so it was good to kind of shoot the stuff with you guys. What about who's going to have the biggest game for Florida State, offensively and defensively? You know, this is always a generic kind of question, but I think it's pretty good. I mean, F it. It's Clemson week. Who has to have the biggest game defensively and offensively? Who's it going to be? Who's it got to be?
Andrew Parchment. He's got to stretch the field. No, for real. Like, you know.
Oh, you're being serious.
I'm being serious. You know, he seems to be the guy that even last week they were
I feel disrespectful.
trying to target deep. You know, I mean,
so you think it's Parchment over Helton, Ontario, McLean?
Yeah, man. You know, that's what you asked me my question, so you didn't say out of these two. So,
I mean, I think offense. It's obviously it's got to be Travis. You know, if he's not creating plays through the air, I think it's gonna be really tough to beat Clemson. We obviously expect him to create on the ground, but he's got to create through the air as well.
Defense.
I'm gonna say at least for offense, I'm gonna go with the offensive line. You know, just to hopefully have everybody back healthy in that lineup in a loud environment. You're gonna need, you know, few to any pre-snap penalties. Few penalties overall. You're going to need good protection on Travis against a defense that's probably going to try and bring a lot of pressure against that Florida State running attack. So going to need a solid performance out of all five of them.
I think defensively, I want to see Jermaine Johnson get after DJ. You know, I think they're going to have to kind of, you know, the pressure's kind of fallen off the last couple of weeks. I like to see, you know, FSU put Clemson in situations where they're behind the chains on a frequent basis, because, you know, the numbers are what they are. You know, the numbers don't lie. You know, this isn't Clemson that's had a one bad game. You know, we're at past the midway point of the season. Clemson's offense is what it is. So if you can put them in, you know, the second, third and longs, you know, putting pressure on DJ, you know, I think that, you know, that's going to bode very well for the defense.
Yeah, there's a couple South Carolina guys that probably want to make a point and say, hey, I haven't beaten Clemson in my life, and Kiara Thomas and Jamie. I like to see them go out and make some plays defensively. Like to see Jamie Robinson's been really good since he moved back to safety. He fits that much better than he does a slot corner. I'd like to see him make some plays back there.
Got an interception last week.
I don't. One part I'm not necessarily really comfortable right now. I know they've been playing a lot better. Is, you know, I know that the offense for Clemson hasn't been great. You know, they do have some big wide receivers, and you look at, you know, Florida State's DBs. You got Knowles, you know, who's playing really well. You know, you have Brownlee, who, you know, is super physical, but, you know, you have guys on Clemson who are 6'4", 6'5", you know, physical mismatches. So, you know, they're going to have to play well, you know, in the passing game too. That's why I really want to see, you know, Johnson and that defensive line really get after DJ and put a lot of pressure on him. For a guy is as big as he is, he doesn't like to get hit. You know, for, you know, a guy especially
kind of rattles him a tad.
A physical quarterback, 6'5", 230, 240. I would expect him to be kind of like that, you know, almost like that Big Ben kind of quarterback, to stay in the pocket and be able to absorb some of that punishment, and he's not.
Not a lot of people are like Big Ben. Actually,
I'm you know, I don't wish any ill will on anyone, but it's good to see that Clemson has some negative play at quarterback finally.
Yeah, no,
finally.
Yeah, nah.
Only took 7 years.
Longer than that, really, if you go back to Taj Boyd.
It's been since like 2011. Really.
Deerfield saying that he'd love to see a little freshman. This would be a big time stage for him. But Malik McLean has had a great season so far, but he says he'd love to see Malik McLean ball out on Clemson. I think this is a pretty good matchup for Malik McLean. I mean, as the biggest wide receiver in the room, along with Portier, you're going to see a lot more number 11 than 88, but McLean has got about the same size as a true freshman coming in, and I think McLean might have a pretty decent game just because matchup that he's working with. We'll see. interested to see. I think tight ends are going to be used a lot this upcoming weekend too. If things are working, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on the 87 and 4. We'll see.
I got this sneaky gut feeling that Keyshawn Helton is going to have a great game on Saturday. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys remember. This is the first time that Helton is going to play in Death Valley since that injury he suffered in, I think it was 2019, the season-ending knee injury.
Yeah, it's good worth noting there. So he's looking maybe for some revenge there. Revenge in Death Valley. Before we move into score predictions, also want to show some love to our friends over there at Hobbit. Just got done talking to them just a little bit ago today, and they're crazy, crazy busy. Also want to note, too, that they are hiring. So if any of you young people or anybody that are interested in getting some extra pay out there, they're actually hiring right now. They have 2 locations in Tallahassee. You can just Google Hobbit here in Tallahassee. But other than that, they're also got the best wings in town. Bone-in wings are the best. I can't even say what boneless. I almost did. It almost came out. It almost came out of my mouth.
The truth will set you free.
No, it won't.
The truth will set you free.
No. If you eat boneless, then you'll look like an 8. And I don't know.
A Greek god.
Tell you what, I had some Hobbit after the game. After we covered the game on Saturday, man, it was perfect. Just sit back, have some wings, some fries, watch some football. Nothing better on a Saturday night.
No, I know a lot of people in the press box were saying they're going to go snag some Hobbit afterwards, and maybe
they lucky I didn't see him.
What were we going to do to people in the press? Jeez, now Dustin Lewis is threatening people in the press box, so let's get that out there.
I like the energy, man. Keep it going.
Oh, God. Oh, man. But yeah, no, go show some love to Hobbit. We love them. Go help a local place here in town, too. Still some places struggling after COVID. So go show some love to them. Phenomenal. The flavors that you're going to get on wings are the best. Ask for extra wet, extra crispy if you like those kind of wings. Are the best. Carolina Gold. What flavor did you get, D-Lo? Carolina Gold?
Carolina Gold and teriyaki, half and half.
Oh, beautiful. How many did you get?
15.
Okay, that's good enough.
Beautiful. Teriyaki, dude. What's wrong with you, man?
Half and half, bro.
Let's do one more thing, and then we'll get into score predictions because we got to give some love to another sponsor before we get into score predictions. Anyone got a question in the chat that we can go over here, or anybody want to bring up something before heading into this score prediction? Anything been on y'all's mind? Anything y'all? Johnny's saying that Wyatt Rector is going to have a sneaky tight end / fullback touchdown this Saturday. That would be sneaky. That would be very sneaky if that were to happen. Dear Phil Knowles saying that maybe the special teams will get going this upcoming weekend.
And maybe I'll take Kerry Underwood.
Yeah.
The punting unit will look good. Hopefully not.
Why do you say that? Oh. It's just that like there was something coming out of there. Here we go. There's a good question we get because these guys, I'm trying to like find something to be able to transition to score predictions. Kobe's saying quarterback next season. Who's it going to be?
Too early to tell.
Too early
to tell.
We still got 5 games left. Let's worry about that later.
We got to get better questions here. Corey's not even a question, but saying Corey Renz with a kick return touchdown this upcoming weekend.
Hell no.
What'd you say? What?
Hell no.
Oh, man. Hemi's saying take the under.
Yes, take the under. Anyone who bets the over is a fool.
They would say Colson saying D lineman gets an interception. Who would it be, gentlemen? Who would get the interception?
Keir Thomas.
Keir.
He's almost had 2.
Robert Cooper, baby.
Okay, Cooper? That'd be a sight.
Oh yeah, big
Cooper takes it to the crib.
Big boy touchdown.
Cooper. What do you say, BZ?
I said Cushing just because he's so athletic, comes off the edge.
I got to see more PT for Cushing in order for me to say that.
So if Cooper picked it off at the 50, how long would it take him to get to the end zone?
What do we think he runs? a 5.4 40?
5.4? That's nice.
I feel like he's fairly athletic for his size.
He's gotten faster. He ran
I was to say, it would probably take him like 8 seconds. 7 to 8 seconds.
7, 8.
From the 50?
No, because you have to keep in mind, he has to get the interception. You know, he has to gather himself, find which way to run, and then run. It's not like he's a natural runner. He's got to look which way he's running.
I like these quick questions right here. All right, real quick. We'll run through these quickly, and then we'll get into score predictions. Prediction: who is cutting the turf off the field? This has to be Florida State's biggest playmaker on Saturday night. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be cutting that grass?
Defensive
Deshaun Corbin. Deshaun Corbin.
Jermaine Johnson.
I'm going Jamie Robinson.
3 sacks.
Jammy, dang! Austin's on the jammy.
I'm on the jammy train. I was off early, but I'm back on. We're good.
Austin's on the jammy, and then I'm looking at Dustin. He's on the Keyshawn Helton right now. He's feeling key.
I said Jermaine Johnson.
No, but I was saying earlier, you said, wait, how are you going to pick Jermaine? But you just said, oh, I think Keyshawn Helton's going to have a breakout.
I said to cut the turf. The question we're answering, the turf question.
Oh, God.
I said Jermaine Johnson's going to cut the turf.
All right, let's move to predictions.
Carol, now we got to answer Carol. Carol's always in here. Carol loves you, Nate. And she asks who scores the most touchdowns.
Jordan Travis, because that's an
Jordan Travis.
Deshaun Corbin.
I think there's only be 1 touchdown scored. So,
damn. Okay.
I think there's been a lot of field goals.
Wow.
Oh, damn. Okay. Now we know. All right. Let's jump into some Florida State versus Clemson score predictions. Before we do that, let's give a shout out to our friends over there at Celsius. I've always got one on me. I'm drinking like 5 this week, getting up early.
I'm still waiting for my shipment.
You got your shirts. You know it takes about 2 more months for me to ship anything else. So just wait till about January, and I'll make sure you get hooked up with some Celsiuses.
What about me? I live across the interstate, and I haven't seen a sip of Celsius.
I don't want to hang out with you any more than I already had to do at the press box, and I'm not going to bring.
You didn't even bring any to the press box.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll do it next time we're in the press box together. But anyways,
yeah, I'll see you in November.
Yeah, exactly. Next time we'll do that. Dustin, let's show some love to our friends over there. Celsius, best energy drinks. Actually, really good. I had one before going to the gym on Tuesday morning. Oh my God, best lift I had, Nate. I mean, my legs are looking good. I can't lie. My legs are getting bigger. I'm getting close. Fullback. Played it in high school. Tight end, fullback.
Yeah, and then
flag football.
And then I turned flag football. Pom. Yeah. No, but
Pop
guys,
Warner?
Pop Warner. We do have a code if you guys want to get some 20% off Celsius. If you guys actually do use that code, text us or tweet us or whatever, let me know, and I'll send you a pack of free Celsiuses. That's what you got to do. Use that code down there, 20 FSU Fuji. There's actually a link in the YouTube description down below. It will take you to an Amazon link, but that will be able to actually set you up and will cut off 20% of your order there. And tool supplies last with 7 essential vitamins in there, 0 sugar, made with premium ingredients. It helps you have some better energy throughout the day, and it doesn't make you crash. I can guarantee you that it does not make you crash. We've had a lot of people since announcing the sponsorship be able to back that up, and they love Celsius's too. I preferably like the sparkling ones, but they also have some flat ones for you flat people out there. So, but right now, 20% off. Use that code. Whoa.
You flat people out there, we're taking shots?
VZ?
Yeah.
I know I'm not flat.
How did I know you're going to call me flat? Like,
well, I mean, I'm looking everywhere else. Who am I going to call flat?
You're the one that's 5'7". You're the flattest.
5'7"? What are you talking about? That was a terrible picture. That was an awful picture. Whoever took it, and I didn't know where that was just a tough night. That was a tough night. So I wasn't, that was
hey, I thought it was a great night.
No, I'm sure you loved it all. Yeah,
until
you had to take
me
home. Yeah, you had to take me home. Exactly. All right, let's get to it, gentlemen. Score predictions. Florida State's taking on Clemson at 3:30. You've already heard enough of it. We're here, gentlemen. We've made it. I don't think any of us would have predicted this, us to kind of have this feeling before going into Clemson week. But right now, I think there's some optimism. Who wants to go first? Nate's got his notes here. He's got his sermon.
I'm going last.
Whoa. Nate's going last. That actually gives me time to go ahead and do the tweet here to get some more viewers on here because we always need more viewers, mainly for our sponsors.
Dustin, I'll let you go first. I feel like you never go first.
Dang, yeah. D-Lou's going
tough.
First.
It's tough, man.
Wow.
I remember when we were talking about this game in August or maybe even over the offseason, I don't think any of us were really giving Florida State much of a chance. think we all expected a lot more out of Clemson than what they've shown this season. And I know they've been hit by injuries, but at the same time, they just haven't performed on the football field. And like I said it earlier, in my opinion, these are two teams that are really going in opposite directions. I think Florida State, they found their confidence. They've won a big game on the road, and now it's time to see if they can do it again. You know, I really do believe the offense, it's not going to be as successful as it was against North Carolina, but they're going to be able to do enough on the ground to make a couple plays through the air. And I'm going to go Florida State 24, Clemson 21, upset in Death Valley. You're snapping a 31-game winning streak in Death Valley, and Florida State is going to be 4-4 after this game.
Whoa. Damn. Shit. D-Lou dropping it down. You feel confident about that?
100%.
Isn't it crazy? Well, like if you would have said that 2 months ago,
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, people would have been like, are you stupid? Like, you need to be committed. What?
Well, we would ask, are you on drugs? But we know the answer. Anyways, let's move on to the next one.
Logan, go ahead.
Dang, VZ and Nate want to end her off. I like that. Hey, well, I'm all about it. Like I said, I think I talked to you guys. I don't know if it was on the Mark Rogers show last week or this week. I don't know. I talked to somebody about it. I don't know. Maybe talked to myself about it. But talked about, I wanted to see how practices were this week. I wanted to know, you can have that energy and all that kind of hula crap and such and hyping each other up, but our guys going to be dialed in and really trying to get the scheme down, because that's going to be the biggest thing, playing smart this weekend. We talked about it all tonight, playing smart, understanding your assignment, because that's going to be a hostile environment. It's going to be extremely loud. You're going to be going off of signals. You're not going to be able to chirp to somebody near you. I mean, it's just all going to have to come off of signals. And I thought overall these were the best two practices. I know Norvell talked about, last week's on Tuesdays being a really good practice and the best that he's ever had at FSU. But I feel like if he could say it, I don't think he wants to be really vocal about it. He would say that these were the best two practices that Florida State's had, just from just being there the last 2 days. And like I said, I like the chippiness. I like the energy. I like the guys being competitive. And the penalties is a big thing, that being dropped down to now 3 from last week in the game that you could have just fooled around if you wanted to, but that wasn't the case. Guys holding each other accountable. Things are starting to click in the right direction. Right now, Clemson's defense just can't be. Clemson's defense with that defensive line that's kind of weak right now, and tons of starters that are not going to be playing, and Clemson's leading rusher not being there. It's really just going to come down to Florida State scoring and what Norvell and Dillingham put together. And they put together a really good game plan against North Carolina, the prettiest they've had since at FSU. I felt it. I felt optimistic. My gut is telling me some good things here, some optimistic things. I think Florida State does go up to Death Valley and end that streak. I got Florida State winning this one 24-20, and Norvell gets to say goodbye to Dabo Swinney. And but I do think Florida State upsets Clemson this upcoming weekend. Great, phenomenal week of practice. That's what I'm going off of.
Hey, Austin, I'll go because I know you got something.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You wanted to go last. That's fine.
No, I'll go.
Oh yeah, we got to wait till. Oh yeah. We gotta wait.
Yeah. So Jimbo Fisher said a lot. Each year's a different team, and this year's version of Clemson isn't anything in what it's been the last few years. So let's get that off the table now. This is a different Clemson team. As we've talked about, struggle bus at quarterback, no running game to wide receivers, as highly rated as they have been, and blue chips all across the board at wide receiver. They just aren't getting it done. Yes, Clemson has a tough defense, and they're also simply beat up, man. It's a beat up team. I think it's, they're facing a Florida State team that started the season 0-4, but they made major strides. Confidence is a big thing. It breeds a belief that you can get things done, even if you may not be the most talented. That's why upsets happen. But I think that this is a Florida State team that is going to be able to make the plays when they have to. But I think it's going to be a really ugly game. I don't think that this is going to be. I think this is going to be a game where it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be really physical. I just don't think that Clemson has enough on offense to score. I think Florida State can still generate 14 points to win the game. I don't think you have to get to 20. So I'm going Florida State 16, Clemson 9.
Whoa, 9. No touchdown for
Nope.
Clemson?
Nope.
Damn. So who's going to score the only touchdown for FSU?
Travis.
Oh, showing some love to Jordan Travis. Where's Devin at when you need him to hear this? Is that throwing or running?
Come on.
Damn, I thought we could get to a throwing one at least. Damn. That was close. I'll take Jordan Travis getting on.
I need that clip of him saying, "Come on."
Beezy, you're one and last right now. All guys are predicting Florida State to win this.
So Clemson, I think their defense is still good enough, like Nate said, to where I don't think the team's going to 20 points. I don't think there's any way, unless there's a pick six, a kick return touchdown. I just don't think there's a way. But I also think DJ Ukulele is really, really bad.
Whoa.
You got to play a song for us.
Can you play it?
Florida State 16, Ukulele.
Is he going to break the
13.
thing? That's not what I. What is that? Is that your mic?
Did you break your mic?
No, mic's fine.
Wait a second.
Death to the ukulele.
Hold on, we got to see the ukulele. What just happened?
Oh my god.
He's ukulele getting smashed this weekend.
Oh my god.
4 sacks.
Oh.
BDE, baby. BDE.
Oh my
I like
gosh. Wow. Holy cow, man. Jesus. I wasn't at all expecting that. I thought maybe like a sign, a picture of Dabo. Like,
I thought you were going to play it one time, maybe. Like
Austin Corso. Austin Corso.
Yeah, now we know.
Have you had that and planned on breaking it, or did you get that just for the show?
I got it just for this. It was $10.
Okay. It's like he had it since he was a little kid. Grandma gave it to him. Holy cow. Can you give us a score pick? I just got completely.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about it.
Florida State 16, Ukulele 13.
Okay. Damn. Ukulele 13. Oh, my God. Jacob just got on here. Oh, this is hilarious. Jacob, who covers basketball with Austin, just said, I hop on after I get home from the gym, and this is what I see from Austin. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Unreal.
That's a perfect way to end off. Now we know we might have a little tradition going on here. Austin's got to do these for the big time games if FSU is going to pull off the win.
There's going to be pieces of ukulele found for the next month in my bedroom.
You smashed that thing. You had some anger. Damn.
It was a good smash.
Like, you thought about Dabo Swinney. I'm like, God damn.
I've had a lot of stress this week.
Oh, man.
I was not kidding about that root canal.
And look at this. Like Carol said, Austin, you're finally with us, man. So
I feel it's more of I feel Clemson's just absolutely awful. That's really what it is.
Yeah. Well, everybody listening, ladies and gentlemen, definitely appreciate everyone for hopping on here. I think this was definitely, I loved this podcast too. I didn't feel like 2 hours, but Jacques Patrick also, great interview with him. Enjoyed having him on, giving us some insight on what he's doing, and gave us some great talk about Florida State, the current team there, and the running back room, and also gave Florida State winning this game too, pretty big too. 28-17, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, great podcast. As always, you can listen to this show on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. If you want to see Austin break more things in his closet, then
all right.
Absolutely.
This is not funny because someone literally texted me at the beginning of the podcast saying, "Why are you in your closet?" That's
I'm not the only one.
It looks tight in there, man.
It's not my closet.
Okay, well, that's all right. You're gonna have to just say you're in the closet. All right, just say you're in there. But yeah, definitely appreciate everybody listening. Man, oh man, I don't know what else to say. We'll have live coverage.
Put that comment up that just came through. Put that comment up.
Briley just commented on YouTube saying the ukulele is a majestic and beautiful instrument. You disrespectful, irrelevant, shameful human being. If we lose, the curse of the ukulele will be upon us. We've never heard from Briley ever before on YouTube, but Austin, you better watch out, buddy. I hope that didn't screw it all up. But everybody, thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the game this weekend. We'll have live coverage for everything Mashable this upcoming weekend. So thanks, everybody, for following. We'll see you after the game on Saturday for our instant reaction. Everybody have a great weekend. Peace. Go Steelers.
Go Noles.
Mama told me not to sell word. 17.5, same color t-shirt. Mama told me not to sell word. 17.5, same color